Recap show. Thank you, Neil. There it goes. Microsoft up to 415. We're starting to go upside right now on Microsoft, so the earnings are now out.
Yeah.
Microsoft up to 416 and starting to go. Nice move up there for Microsoft. We will get these exact numbers for you. Don't worry about it right now.
Okay.
Intel right here starting to go up to the upside as well. No, Intel cranked there. Sharif wins again. When does this guy ever lose? Oh, yeah. Forget about that. We'll talk about that after. Nice downside move here for Microsoft is getting killed right now. Down to the downside. Intel getting killed. Downside down to $33. Killed, it's down 4%. Let's wait to see what happens there. Microsoft is the name that we're most excited about, up to 420. So Adara, give us those numbers.
Yes, please. Okay, so we have Q3 revenue, $61.9 billion versus the expected $60.8 billion. That's a beat. We also had, what else did we have here? We had quarterly increases, 21% in quarterly revenue for Intelligence Cloud. Quarterly revenue for productivity and business up 12%. All I'm seeing here are increases. Personal computing also increased by 17% here. They returned $8.4 billion to shareholders through share repurchases. All of this is positive.
Perfect. Next time, let's share her screen, what she's reading, so everybody can see that. All right, right now, Intel, just to give you the Intel numbers, right now, Intel beats 18 cents versus 14 cents. Sales, 12.7, missing. They miss on sales. Let's figure out what's happening right now with the guide. So it has to be something about their guide. So we'll have to wait to see this one right now. Microsoft upside. Here's Intel right here in my ear. Loss of 5 cents for Q2, so that's not going to be good. So we're going to see what's going on with Intel right now to that downside. Google is now out. All right, so Google, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please come again. Yes, sir. We talked about this one for Google. Watch out now. We said this was the beat of the day, and there it goes, Google. We're going to go 3 for 3, man. Tesla upside. Yesterday, Meta downside. Today, Google upside. Yes, sir. Boom for Google. Our largest holding goes boom right there. Up 7%, Adara. I guess, hey, I guess they're not that bad in the AI game after all. Google right now up 19% year to date and starting to say, what past high? 171, 172. Google is rocking. Gap EPS 189 right now, beating 151. Estimates of 80.5, crushing sales at 80.5, crushing 70.5. Wow, we are... Oh my God, $70 billion buyback?
Yeah.
Is that what we're hearing right now? Google $70 billion buyback right now. So if you're holding Intel right now, sorry, it's Google's world and we are all living in it. Nice move to the upside. Wow, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, Google...
What a difference a day makes. Yesterday, we're like wondering what's up with Meta. Today, it is an instant disaster for Intel. It's a nice move for Microsoft. It's a nice move for Google. And yes, sir, what a good day to be long.
Yeah, especially these mega caps, both Microsoft and Google here making some nice moves. But Google,
let's go.
That $70 billion buyback also announced like a 20-cent dividend. We know what buybacks and dividends did for Meta, not this quarter, but the quarter before.
Let's go.
Q4 2023. So we know the market does like dividends and buybacks. Google, Alphabet overhearing that and giving the people what they want. They're also, that massive revenue, massive EPS beat. Really strong look here, much like Microsoft for GOGL.
All right, let's go. Thank you, everybody, for watching right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Tell us how good we are doing with these earnings. Thanks to Ms. Adara here as well. Over 4,300 right now watching us. Thank you so much for coming through one more time. And it's Microsoft. It's a banger, up to 421 right now. But the story of the day, in my opinion, continues to be Google. Huge move up, man. We are still going. It is now 9%. This is a double-barreled beat right now. Expected move on this, 5%. Google right now up 10. What a good day to have Miss Danielle Shay come through. This is a monster earnings out right now. Thank you to everybody who's here right now. What's up to Brad, Patrick, D-Loaf? If we get anything else out, we are going to come with that. Intelligent cloud revenue up 21% for Microsoft. The cloud wins again. Nice move up. I expect Amazon to be up Boom! We expected Amazon to be up on this move, Adara, and there it goes. Amazon taking out that 180. Wow. Oh my God, we maybe be eating some lobster tonight, man. These moves are upside, and I was like, whoa, on all of this.
Yeah.
You know, slow down. Let's see where these earnings are going to come. Is the market due for a pullback, or are we just dip buying? And the Qs say, hold the beer again. The NASDAQ was down at one point today, over 1.5%. They ended the day down 0.7%, something like that, 0.5. And now the NASDAQ says, thank you, Sir Softy. We've been calling this thing Mr. Softy from the jump. Nice move back up there to the upside. If anybody's in Teladoc right now, bang for Teladoc. Nice report there for TDoc right now coming through. Q1 there, EPS missing, but better than expected, I guess. No, that's a miss. The sales were better on Teladoc. Nice move. Neil's favorite name is now out. It's your boy Roku, and let's see what's up with that one as Neil goes home and plugs in his Roku. Neil, you know you have one, and boom for Roku, Neil. It's 12%, and it is an upside move. Neil doing cartwheels over there. Get the camera on this guy. 35 cents beats versus minus 35. No, Neil's getting off his makeup. Ouch, Neil. Roku is trash coming from Neil. Not today, though. 35 cents versus 62. They beat, but still losing money, so Neil's not going to be wrong on that one. Sales, a huge beat on the sales side of it. But Roku for right now, Adara, monster move up. It's 13%. Looks like they win again there for Roku one more time. But I'm most impressed with Google. Give me something I don't know, Adara.
I mean, with that Google, I will say this is one that I mentioned on Monday that I was excited about as well with Google. I thought that it could be interesting, a chance for them to redeem themselves with those snafus with AI. The stock was strong going into it. I'm seeing if I have any guidance out here. But yeah, I think the main thing with their 20-cent dividend, expecting to pay quarterly cash dividends in the future. So that's definitely a nice look as well. Not just dividends, but quarterly dividends there for Alphabet. Also, yeah, we had that massive EPS beat, massive sales beat as well. $70 billion for Class A and Class C shares. Buyback opportunities there. I'm going to see if there's anything else coming out of this name here. But yeah, I mean, really nice look, I think, across the board for GOGL. Roku, also worth noting, they had stronger than expected guidance as well here for ROKU. $935 million for total net revenue for Q2 projection versus $931.42 million expected. So higher than expected revenue projections here for ROKU.
Whew, man, this is, I mean, Google is still going right now. There's a couple things out now as well. Atlassian Team is now out as well. Another decent name here on the market cap front and on a nice little move to the upside. 32 billion in market cap for Team here. Atlassian Corporation to the upside there as well. BYD is Boyd Gaming, so that's not the one that we're all worried about right there. But there goes Roku again. Nice upside move for them. Up to 69er. Let's go over and check out what Microsoft is doing. 420. Puff, puff, pass on that. So we'll have to wait to see where that's going now. But again, if we're going to talk about Microsoft, there it is. I want to see what Danielle has to say about this, because that top right there at 428, we actually didn't even come close to that. So Microsoft right now, actually the implied move was 5 right now. So we are underneath that. Let's drop a little anchored VWAP here at its last earnings, right down there, 405, 406. So what was once down in the dumps today, down sub 400, now up to 418. She is a nice one.
You got Snapchat in here.
Microsoft. We have Snapchat in here. What do we got for that?
Yes, we do. So revenue,
Oh my.
Yeah, this was a bit of a miss here for Snap. Quarterly infrastructure cost per daily active user, 83 to 85 cents. Here, let's see what else is coming in.
Adara, would you think Snapchat was up or down on that report?
I would assume it's down.
It's up 23%. What is going on? Snapchat just ripped up to $14 right there. Snapchat is absolutely ripping on this one. Loss of 19 cents, I'm hearing. We'll get this all. As soon as we get it, we'll go back. But it's so far so good here.
Oh, it was an EPS beat.
On Snapchat, yeah, so we'll get it for you, and we'll come right back with all of that as Snapchat right now popping nicely to the upside. Wow, what a day we have right now. There's the tick right here for Snapchat. coming right back into 13 and change. If you have a bottle of water near you, let's have one right now. It's Hydration Nation, Adara. Let's go. You know, we put on the best shows with Brankos. We put on the best shows with Obi. We put on the best shows with Randy. Now we're doing it again here with Miss Adara. And I want to thank you for joining me, Adara. And I want to thank everybody else for joining us as well, because without everybody, we don't got anybody. And we are about to soon have Miss Danielle Shay coming through. So let's just have a quick look at some of these other names. So Snapchat continues to go. Get the big ones numbers, and we'll review them, okay?
Oh, sorry. So they
Go ahead,
beat
you have
on
Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Yep.
I think that's probably what moved them up. 3 cents earnings per share versus negative 5 cents expected. So surprise profit here for Snapchat. Also, sales of 1.19 billion versus 1.12 billion expected. So there was a beat here. They also saw a 10% increase in daily active users. So some of these numbers not too bad here for Snapchat.
Let's see if Meta has any tailwinds here, because, okay, no. That was easy. All right, that won't take too long. I thought maybe on that Snapchat there was a chance that potentially Meta possibly going higher there. Google continuing its move. The only problem with Google here, let me just double check this. I don't think there is no air up here. I just want to go to a weekly chart just to see something. So there's that push there on a weekly. We've really taken out these highs, man. That 150, we came back in just the other day and held it. Like, as you zoom back out there, why is Amazon moving is what I want to know. So Google looking for that high. When does Google report? April 30th, so next week. So again, on a good report from Google and Amazon, hold on a second, we got to go back into a 1-minute chart. I could see this one starting to go up because we got that good report from Microsoft Cloud. So we know Amazon is there with AWS. Google, obviously a strong cloud play as well. We will break more of these numbers down for you in just a couple minutes, but there it is right now. I want to say a big thank you to Trader Nick. If this hold just made 20K on Google, thanks to Miss Danielle Shay, 20 grand. Hello.
Indeed.
That's not bad. I mean, I made 50 grand. No, I didn't make anything. That's a great call right there. Thank you, Ms. Danielle Shay. I'm not sure what call she made on Google.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll know. And we'll discuss that when ready for that one. But we are excited to have Ms. Danielle Shay coming on board in just a second. So, Adara, let's start to review a little bit. So, the big one here, do you have the Intel numbers? Let's look at those.
Yes.
We're down to $32. Intel's down 5%. And in just a matter of 2 minutes after we review this, we'll get Danielle on here and see what she wants to talk about. So give us Intel quickly.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you guys the Intel. And Intel, I think the biggest thing is extremely weak projections here.
Okay.
But 10-cent EPS for Q2 projection versus 24 cents expected. So that's less than half of what the expected analyst expectation was there. Revenue also weak here. 12.5 billion. They're seeing 12.5 billion to 13.5 billion here versus 12.68 billion expected. I saw somewhere else they were expecting more than $13 billion in revenue. So either way, these revenue expectations a bit weaker than the overall market consensus here. But they did beat on EPS for this quarter, 18 cents versus 14-cent estimate. They missed though on revenue, just barely. 12.72 billion versus 12.78 billion expected for Intel. I think Google, though, that's the main story. The dividends and share buybacks.
What dividend news?
Oh, Google, 20-cent dividend.
They
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, they said that, yeah. They have a dividend.
So we saw what happened with Meta there, instituting that dividend. I'm not sure. I should know if Google had a dividend before. Something is telling me they did have a small one, but it could have been a special dividend that they had released before. So there it is right now. Thank you so much, Dragos, right there. Yes, up 17 grand there on Google. Without any further ado, if she's ready, I mean, I could be no more ready. It's going to be Trader Talk with Danielle Shay. So let's throw over. Here it is. Okay, hey Danielle, ooh, we got the blue on right now today. Is that big blue for IBM, or that was not a great report there from IBM, but what a good day today. We just had a couple plays out. You were here last week talking about Meta. How did that trade work out?
Man, I kind of screwed up my Meta trade. I had a great trade on it. I was targeting 450 and I got out a little bit too early this morning. I got a double, which was okay, but I
Oh,
needed
come on.
more. So
Danielle, I didn't do that well. I just doubled.
well, you
Wish I had
know.
those problems, Danielle. Okay, I don't know what was going on with Google, but what a quarter that was. And there's been a few traders in our chat, and I know you've been listening to that have absolutely destroyed this name. I feel like that was some great calls that you and I have talked about on this before, and especially some of the stuff that you were mentioning, bouncing off some of these key levels, holding this move, and then if you go out to a weekly, it even looks better on a longer time frame, in my opinion. We really held that 150, and now it's up and away. The Danielle Shay method, from what I know, and I've been teaching everybody, is that when you get an outsized beat like this, we could potentially see an extended move tomorrow. How does Google look in your opinion?
That's right, Shawn. And I mean, this one's looking great. This is just the daily chart that I have without the overnight data. And, I had a target at 170 on it. And right now, during this overnight session, I mean, we're up twice the expected move up into 177. Your expected move on this stock was only about $9 or $10. So this is a huge move. My next price target is going to have to be 190 up into 200. This is a stock that I've been buying for a long time. I have to tell you, though, I was hesitant about this earnings report because we've seen Meta get smashed. We've seen Netflix, Taiwan Semi get smashed. So the fact that this company is doing so well in this environment is absolutely amazing, and it's going to be great for the NASDAQ tomorrow.
Yeah, we're still starting to go upside. We just saw the NASDAQ up 0.9 right now in after hours. But this is the story of, I guess, a different market. Sometimes you can come in the morning, and today it was looking pretty bad for Meta. But as you probably noted as well, as you were trading it with your options, and you mentioned that butterfly there a couple of times last week, but Meta started the day kind of in the dumps down there at 416, and then they just bought it up. This 200 period really got going there. I like the fact, Danielle, that we talk about an increase of spend for AI. I think we can trust Mark here because he's done well for us before, buying some of these dips. We saw Meta go down 70% in the past. I think spooked a lot of traders, but these are different times, right? The market seems to have a footing here.
Yeah, Shawn, I'm a little surprised at the Meta move just because it was such a huge move. Typically when you see twice the expected move, it's not going to recover. And so what that tells me is that when we had this overnight move of about $100, when you had the expected move at $40, that was just a little bit of an overreaction because what we had this morning is, we had traded all the way down. Well, during the overnight session, we traded into 400. But during the cash session, we were down at 415. I had a 450 butterfly and I thought, there's no way this thing is going to come back. So I wanted to get the debit out of it that I already paid. And yeah, it came back perfectly, which just goes to show that, typically a lot of these stocks are going to stay around their expected ranges. And 450, that was the expected range. So the fact that it recovered really well, I think points to exactly what you're saying, that people kind of realize, okay, maybe what he's saying isn't that bad.
Yeah, I feel like at some point you got to just sort of let it go a little bit. And I actually is going to go, I sold some Google and Meta a couple days ago. It looks like bad decision on one and okay on the other. I'm going to put you to work a little bit here, Danielle, because what is going on with Snapchat? Snapchat right here is up 34%. The thing about this is it's reminding me a little bit of when you and I talked about Affirm. We have 8% on the short float right now for Snapchat. It is starting to get like way up. We've already taken out this level on the daily that we had an issue with up and in around 12. You want to talk about an extended move. I thought Snapchat was in and around 9%. You probably have it on your screens, but I want to fade this name. And I think with a high short float, and again, off of some of that negativity from Meta and some of that spend, I love the short in and around this $16, $17 range. Are we looking to get up there tomorrow, or maybe this move is perhaps too extended?
So it looks like the expected move is about $2.50, and you're up a little bit more than that right now, but not substantially more. So for me, I would just have to see where it gaps in the morning. If it gaps up $5 or more, that's when I would start to say, okay, maybe we don't want to short it quite yet. But honestly, it's all about the trade at market open. If you want to short something that gaps up like that, you just really need to watch the first 15-minute range. And if it gaps up creates a wick right at the top, right at a critical resistance zone, like you're mentioning around 16. And then you start to see it rolling over. Yeah, short it.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good trade for tomorrow. We'll see. Now up 35%. Yeah, $4 move against your 250. So we'll see if that can get going again. All right. We've talked about some of these plays that have already happened. Is there anything right now, Danielle, that potentially is on your radar into the upcoming weeks? We have AMD coming through next week, and then NVIDIA might be something that you're looking at because we're just in that sort of fun zone right now for options. Is there anything you're looking at right now that some of our traders might want to dive in with?
So, for me, Shawn, it really depends on if these Google and Microsoft moves hold.
Okay.
And I think right now it's looking pretty good right now. So we have Microsoft that has come up. It's just shy of 420. If we can get Microsoft and Google to both gap up tomorrow, and specifically if Microsoft can be up above 415, where you have that critical resistance, that's going to be a great sign and an opportunity for us to go long stocks like Amazon and NVIDIA,
Right.
because that's just going to give us some more positive momentum. AMD is the one that's been a little bit lackluster, but I think that the one I would focus on the most is going to be Amazon, and then actually probably Apple as well, because that one's been recovering pretty well. But if you look at Amazon's already held the 100 simple on the daily chart. It's holding that 165 price point. You've already recovered up into 180 during the overnight session. So look at this. If you can gap up above 180, you're up above resistance at that point, and you're not that far away from trading to that previous all-time high. So I think Amazon's going to be the number one spot I can focus, along with maybe Apple, maybe NVIDIA, maybe Tesla. Okay, fine. There's a few spots.
I was gonna say I feel like that's what I do with the sticky note every day. I just come in, I'm like, okay, where's Apple, where's Google, where's Amazon, and all that, because I really think that that's what we should be doing, and I think that that's what you do as well. Focus in the areas that you have experience trading in, because then we can analyze these moves based on past experiences as well. All right, I know you don't have a Cybertruck, but like, what a report, what a crazy movement we had there for Tesla over the last couple days. I mean, everyone got super scared down here, Danielle, that we were looking to break through that 150, and we did that, and we did that pretty easily. We got all the way back into this 140 area, which who knew that it was going to stop there, to be honest with you. But now you're almost all the way back up to 50 simple. You and I like that indicator, I believe. That's in there and around this 175 area. I think this is a story for a year, year and a half, 2 years from now, when we finally do see some of these new vehicles on the road. I'm a little bit worried. I'm not worried about manufacturing with Tesla. I'm a little worried about the EV market and demand for some of these names. Now that we're into India a little bit, taking some reliance away from China. What says Danielle Shay about these Tesla calls potentially, or are we getting a little too exhausted to the upside? I say we are.
So I think it just depends on your time frame. As far as trading is concerned, this bounce has been really nice.
Yeah.
When you get that big gap up after earnings, it typically continues, which is what's happening here. And today, you had another 5% up move, especially because in this name, you had a lot of people short. So I think that for the very short term, we can probably keep trading it up into maybe 180, but we'll have to see if it breaks 180 when it gets there or not. As far as the long term, Tesla's had a lot of problems recently. You'd really have to recover up above probably 225 before the long-term charts start to look good again. But, the stock is volatile. It can happen. It can move. And I still think the future will be bright, even though right now it's been a little lackluster.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Look, you can only produce so many cars with so much demand. Let's wait to see the Tesla story. And again, when you have a vision like that, hopefully we'll be able to. What do you think about like getting rid of some Uber? Because I was looking at Uber, and I'm kind of thinking that if this guy's going to, and I don't know if you heard the comparison. We used to have, I think it was Elon that said this, because I was listening to someone about an elevator, how we used to have these sort of elevator people that when you get into an elevator men, women, and you would say, floor 5, fine sir, and then he would push floor 5, and then you would get up there and come back down, and then eventually it just became we push the buttons ourselves. So you get rid of the Uber driver, and then all of a sudden, you have a bunch of these robo-taxis everywhere. I look at Uber, Danielle, and we've been pulling back in a little bit. I was pretty bullish on this name. I'm trying to change my attitude about it. I still like the AI aspect of this, and I'm just not sure what my opinion is on Uber. So I ask yours. My macro is a little cloudy, potentially technical. You seeing anything here with Uber?
So, the weekly chart still looks pretty constructive, but the daily chart has shifted like, pretty much everything else right now. So when you see the shift in pattern where you're going from this nice bullish trend and then you start to break down, you break below the 50 simple, and then you break below the 100 simple, really on a shorter term basis, I mean, that's a short, because after you break the 100 simple in these critical support zones, it could go all the way down into here at 58. That being said, it's going to largely depend on if the NASDAQ can hold and the NASDAQ can bounce here. Maybe we get a positive reaction post Google, post Microsoft, even post Amazon into next week, and that's the low. That would be a great situation. I don't think it's super likely, but I would prefer that situation.
Yeah, I would as well. Today we had energy moving around a little bit. We saw end phase the last little while there. Yeah, I was looking at the cues here. Nice move up in after hours for the NASDAQ and holding highs. So I think that that's pretty important up there at 5:30, 4:30, the price right there. And actually, the time is similar to the Q's price right now. Isn't that funny? Okay, Miss Danielle Shay, we got to get ready to get out of here, but I know that you're always putting new content up there on your YouTube page. Did you get a chance to post anything new for the viewers this week?
I did. I posted a couple new videos. I was just on Fox right before I joined you.
Never heard of it.
And I also posted a new video about how to trade earnings using Vol Crush. So I posted a trade yesterday based off of my Visa trade. I also posted a couple different butterfly trades here. We've got a Tesla one, 295%, another Tesla trade from last week. And I just finished recording an SPX 0 DTE trade that I was going to post this evening.
All right, so check that out. We have a lot of interest in those DTEs. So maybe next time, if you do have an example of a trade that you've made, we can cover it live right here on the recap show. Okay, it's always a pleasure of ours to have you on, and I'm glad that you continue to come through. I want to make sure that everybody checks you out on X and on YouTube. It's Miss Danielle Shay. Thank you so much for joining us on what was a very exciting evening.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao, that's Miss Danielle Shay. See?
Yeah, that was the.
We get it done, and we just basically crushed a good recap show. But the thing that's getting a little crushed now, when we talked about that with Danielle, can Microsoft hold these highs?
Well, I actually have some thoughts on this. So for one, I think the reason maybe that Google, I was thinking about this, the reason that Google did maybe so well in terms of the market reaction is because I think we expect less of Google than we expect of Microsoft. We expect a lot of Microsoft. They have OpenAI, they have Satya Nadella, and I think with Google's AI struggles, the fact that it did so well, that it also announced dividend and buyback, that's something the market is more willing to respond to. Also worth noting, Microsoft hasn't released its guidance yet. It's going to release its guidance on its conference call at 5:30. So that could be a little bit interesting, I think, to see.
Yeah, that's more than interesting. That is actually a fantastic point. A lot of the market has been moving on guidance, right? Like we saw Meta give a great quarter, but then they didn't like what they had talked about with the CapEx and then the move there. But Google, that one's been holding, and I'm really, really excited to this one. Let's check our long-term accounts after this and be pretty happy with that, up 9+%. But as we said, man, what can go up can also go down. And we did have a bad report yesterday from Meta. And that's the gap down for Meta. Google's the other way. So again, you kind of get lucky with one and maybe not with the other, but that is what earnings are all about. And I know that you've just started trading live, and you said something very important today, that there's not that many traders around here. And for some reason, people are always like, oh, you shouldn't trade your P&L. But now you're seeing, imagine, you get excited there, and I think you and Sharif are doing fantastic, but you're like, oh, wow, like this is like $1 in the money, and then you get all jittery, right? Like today, we had trades like in Meta that are $6, $7, $8 in the money. So what do you feel about trading some of these earnings calls and potentially looking for bigger winners now that you're in live?
That's a good point, and I think it's something I want to do, and I think as well, I find just in general, and maybe this is true of all traders, but I feel like more comfortable in a trade, and like I'm able to execute the trade better if I see a level I really, really like. So I think if I see anything on these earnings plays tomorrow and going into next week with Apple as well, AMD as well, then I think, yeah, I'm absolutely willing to get involved as long as I take it appropriately with A, a level I'm comfortable with, B, a style and strategy I'm comfortable with, and C, a share size I'm comfortable with.
Look up for me XOM quickly, because did XOM come out?
Tomorrow morning.
No, April 26th pre-market. Good look right there. I saw someone here, Bears versus Bulls, just asked me XOM earnings, and I was like, I don't know. We had this move down there. I think this might have scared people, down from 120, 150 down to 120 there. But you are right, it is that day. Quickly before we go, guys, just a quick little review, and then we'll do roll call. We're not going to do sticky note reviews. We'll have the sticky note up tomorrow. We have so much happening right now. Thank you to Arcan here for the super chat. I missed out on Tesla, but I couldn't resist to switch from Microsoft to Google. Thank you, legends. You're already a legend, Adara.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I don't know if you've been trading for however many years, you've been rocking the market recap, but I'm just happy to be here with all of you guys. Day 4, this is awesome. This is so fun.
Perfect point right here from pro day trader. Intuition is everything. There's actually, in my opinion, not much else. You got to feel the trade. You got to be able to think about what you want to do and then execute it, and execute it with confidence. I know that's something you talk about all the time. All right, here we go. What's up, Michelle? Roku's bouncing around, but we're going to do a quick little roll call. All right, quickly here, I'll get everyone into the chat. This is your chance. I will start to yell at you in a couple seconds. Roku bouncing nicely, man. That was a great report. And then Neil said it was trash, and then all of a sudden it went from 70 all the way down to 60. And now we will find out what does happen with Roku tomorrow. But again, a very, very violent one. Neil said this one would move the most, and it's actually flat right now on the day. So it moved. No. There is no doubt about that one. The winner of the day, though, before we do the roll call, is Snapchat. Snapchat now up 27%. Google, the best name, because I think like this, most people are in this. Google up 9. Micro MSFT. Did I just screw that up? Yes, I did. MSFT right now holding forward at 415. That one's scaring me because we don't have that call yet. And then shout out to Sharif that will be happy to roast Neil tomorrow as I have some of the setting powder, I think, in my eye. Ramin told me that's what it's called, setting powder.
Yes, yeah.
Powder. All right, a lot of people waving, so it's roll call. Let's do this again. All right, Intel got complacent. You may be right on that one. Shout out to Zeus. Right there. Roll call. Pro day trader. The Piper's here. Mike Breeze is here. Mitchell Burden is in the building. What's up, Mitchell? Ponzi's here. Caputi electronic music producer. The Nathan Williams is here. Small Goblin's here. Jam Low Key, I guess, is here.
I don't know.
Bang, bang, yeah, good one. Derek S. is here. Hugh is here. Bbot 5000, The Piper, Silverado, VM Mark, James, Mike Breeze, Mike L, Ponzi, Bonzi. Any plans tonight?
I might go to the mall. I went to the mall yesterday and then didn't buy anything and then was like, I should have bought things. So now we've wasted even more time. We're going to have to go back tonight. What about you?
Is that what you're doing? Just going to the mall and just saying, like, I want to buy something? Because I feel like that's what I do, too.
Right? Because it's like you don't want to buy. And then I realized, oh, the sale actually ends today and I do want that thing. So now we're going to go back. I don't live far from the mall. I just don't like going to the mall. What about you? What are your plans?
Yeah, so my son starts his summer 5-on-5 hockey league.
Summer hockey?
Oh, yeah. It's not even stopping. It is. I was looking. I don't have a free day till I think it was like May 15th or something. It's insane. Every single night. But hey, you live the life, man.
Yeah. You love it. So
you gotta love it. You gotta love what you're doing. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to Adara. Thank you to Danielle Shay. You know,
of course,
so many ideas, making our viewers rich every single day. Apparently, over 20 grand that one guy made on that.
That's amazing.
I'm not trading with enough shares. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We're both back tomorrow. Rise and shine at 8:30. I'm Trader TV Shawn. This is Miss Adara. And we will see you on the flip side tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Fabian.
Thank you.